Hey everyone, and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about what every photographer must know before they answer the phone. So the phone rings and it's a potential client and you're excited, you want to make a good impression, you want to get the job. It sounds like a really interesting project or assignment, or maybe a family that you think you could turn into a lifelong customer. You never know, but you want to make a good impression. But the thing is, before you take the time to answer all their questions, you need to have them answer your questions. And before you do anything, you need to make sure you have all of their information, and don't do this one thing. The one thing you should not do is give them a quote over the phone. Make sure you take their information, develop a relationship with them, ask good questions. And what questions might you ask? Well, ask, have they ever worked with a photographer before? What type of photography do they like? Is there a certain style that you have created, say, on your website that they're most interested in? That kind of information can help give you what is called the scope of the project. And once you fully understand the scope, you can then take that information and give a bid. Now, if you have specific packages that you offer, say, to wedding prospects or families, still it's the same answer. Don't give them a price over the phone. Try and meet with them or follow up with them. Now, if it's a long distance situation, well, maybe you have to give them some kind of information as a starting point. Maybe you'll never have that opportunity to meet with them, but you want to still take the time to think about it, to digest what they have given to you as all of the requirements and expectations of you as a photographer. And sometimes, depending on, even if it's something that sounds like, hey, I've done this a million times, I've taken a million portraits, I know what it's all about, this is what I do, sometimes gathering that information, and just by having a conversation, you start to get a few clues that maybe they want a little bit more, or maybe they're not the right fit for you. So by taking that extra time and following up later, even with an email, by saying, thank you for all your information, I will immediately or within an hour send you an estimate or a few package options or something, but just give yourself the time to think about it. Now, sometimes when you're dealing with commercial photography, it's not a bad idea to look around and see what other people are doing within your town or within the industry. Maybe even consider, is this the type of job you should be doing? You have to remember, this is your reputation that you're dealing with. So if it's a job that you normally don't do, maybe you're a portrait photographer and someone's asking you to photograph liquids and maybe some drinks or food or maybe interiors. Who knows? There's a number of things it could be that you may not have as much experience photographing. So maybe you need to look for a good assistant that is familiar with that type of photography, or look for the advice of another photographer. Or if you feel like, you know what, I'm really kind of pushing the edge here, I should learn more about this, this is a direction I may want to go down the road, but right now my specialty are portraits. So I'm going to pass this on to another photographer, maybe get a little side commission for it, develop a nice relationship ahead of time with a few photographers. Say, hey, if I send you a job, maybe we can exchange jobs and we'll take 10% off of each other's bill or something like that. That kind of thing can work out and be very beneficial, and you're saving the opportunity to maybe photograph for that person down the road. Maybe they'll need some portraits, and that person, in the agreement, say, hey, if they ask for some more photography such as what I do, please pass them on back to me. It works all the time, because if they're especially food photographers, no reason why they wouldn't pass it on back to you as a portrait photographer. So having these things ready before you answer the phone can make all the difference in the world. But number one, don't give them a price immediately over the phone. Make sure you've absorbed all the information, because what happens sometimes when you give them that price in the middle of the conversation, more information comes after you've given them the price. And when that happens, well, it's really tough to increase the price. So give yourself the opportunity to think it through and get back with them, and you are on your way to a more profitable photography business. Hey, so how do you handle phone calls? Put those in the comments below. If you have any questions, this is the place. This is the YouTube channel for it. If you have pricing, business photography questions, we want to hear from you in the comments, and I am more than happy to answer as many questions as I possibly can, and we'll catch you next time, the next pricing video.